Hello and welcome to the Mobile Doula Getting Started tutorial. This tutorial is designed to help you have a brief overview of how to log into Mobile Doula, add new clients and visit records, and configure the practice to meet your needs. Please visit our website under the features page under How To in order to find other videos and tutorials on how to do insurance billing, use our messaging feature, tasks and reminders, and many other features. Once you sign up for Mobile Doula, you'll be able to download Mobile Doula from either the iPhone, iPad, or Mac App Store. Once you download the app, you'll be able to open the app and come to the login screen that is currently displayed on this video tutorial. From the login screen, you will enter your practice name, email, and password that you chose when you signed up with Mobile Doula. For this instruction video, we're going to use the demo app, which you can also access by pressing the Take a Tour button at the top of the sign-on screen. The demo app will allow you to see test information with test patients and test prenatal visits and labor flow, so you can get an idea of what it looks like after you've created client records. So once you log in, you are landed on the client list screen. Specifically, it's the pregnant client list, which will show you all your clients that are currently pregnant, that have not delivered yet. The way Mobile Doula is designed is there are different sections located along the bottom, so that right now that includes clients, settings, task and billing, document, synchronize, and reports. Anytime you tap on a section, a list of subtabs will appear on the left-hand side. In this case, the subtabs are pregnant for your pregnant client list, postpartum for your postpartum client list, inactive. These are clients that you have inactivated or that are more than 15 weeks postpartum. They will be automatically moved to this tab. The messages and chat tab will show you any messages and chats that you have sent to your clients for the entire practice. Typically, to send a message, which is email based, or a chat, which is a direct message, you would go under the client record and send the message or chat from there. The pregnant client list can be sorted by different methods, such as by last name, or filtered simply by typing in any part of the client name at the top. In order to add a client, you can press the Add Client button at the top of the screen. Typically, a client adds themselves through the client portal. Please view our client portal tutorial to find out more information on how the client portal works. In order to invite your client to the client portal, you can forward them the client invitation email that you would have received once you signed up with Mobile Doula. You can always regenerate the client portal invitation email by going under the Settings Account tab in Mobile Doula. We will review the Settings Account tab and all its features at the end of this video. Once you forward the client invitation to your clients, they will be able to click on your unique client portal link and create their client record. In this case, we will add a client by pressing Add Client at the top. And then we will press Start here on the welcome screen. I will decline the picture, as your clients can decline them. Typically, your clients will take a profile picture, which helps you organize and have a more personal client record for them. On every screen, there's a quick tip, which can be accessed by pressing the question button in the upper left corner. The question button will give you context-sensitive help for the screen that you are on. So, for instance, if you're under the messages screen and you want to remember how to send a message to a client, you can press the question button. Or if you're under the document screen and you want to remember how to add a document, you can press the question button. On the client record, the first section it will take you to is the Client Info Basic tab. Again, there's sections along the bottom. In this case, there's Client Info, Prenatals, Labor and Delivery, postpartum, tasks and billing, and documents. Clients will only be able to see the client info and documents section. The remaining sections, such as prenatals and labor and delivery, are only visible by the provider. Those are what we consider provider side tabs with provider side information. If you wish to share your client record, the client record with the client, you can always export all the information and email it to them using either the Mail app or our built-in messages feature. So under the client info section, the sub-tabs are basic, pregnancy, past pregnancies, health, summary, and chat. The basic tab is the first tab that you and your clients will see when you create a client record, and it captures the basic demographic information for the client. As they complete each tab, they will press next step, which will take them to the next tab. Alternatively, the client or you, if you're adding the client record, can just tap on the sub-tab on the left. The second tab, which is the pregnancy tab, allows the client to enter in their information regarding their due date, if any problems they're having during pregnancy, classes they are taking or they would like to take, labor preferences, different relaxation methods that they would like to have, labor medical preferences, pain medication preferences, birth preferences, and then they can also just type in anything else that they would like. The past pregnancies tab allows your client to enter information regarding their past pregnancies. That way you can understand what other pregnancies they've had and what kind of deliveries and labor experiences they've had to help understand what it is that they want going forward. The health tab is very concise for Mobile Doula because there's not a whole lot of medical information that we need to capture. However, we do capture some basic information here so you can understand maybe any risks that they may have, you may need to help the midwife or OB watch for. The last tab in the client sign-up process is the summary tab, which allows them to review their information and sign it. At this point, I will close this record and open a record that already has information so you can get an idea of what it looks like after data is populated. Again, on the summary tab, at the top, it asks the client to review their information and sign at the bottom. Their signature just confirms that the information is complete and accurate, and it also takes a snapshot of the information so that you can access that later on and see what it was exactly that you initially based your care plan and decisions on, based off what they initially entered. Because it can be that later on they may go in and add information or change information through the client portal. If they do that, you'll get an email that describes what changes they've made, and you can also view the history of any changes that were made to any client record by pressing the history button at the top of any of the screens. However, the snapshot that gets created when they confirm their information is a nice convenient way to quickly see what the data looked like when they initially signed up. Once they sign the confirmation screen, it will direct them to go to the Documents tab to sign any financial agreements, consent forms, or view any handouts that you might have. And so we'll go there now. The documents that are under here are pretty much an example of what you can do with Mobile Doula. They're not really intended to be used for your practice. Although some people do use them, most people actually will start with their own documents in a word processor such as Microsoft Word or Google Docs. They will add their logo, change the verbiage, or they may even purchase documents from some other source, or already have documents from the way they've been practicing over previous years. But starting with a document in Microsoft Word or Google Docs, you would save it as a PDF and import that into Mobile Doula, and you can drop check boxes and text boxes and signature boxes wherever applicable to make it a fillable document. Please view our document templates video that's also on our website under the features and how-to section. The document template video gives you an in-depth description on how to create document templates and add them to your practice. I will open one of these to give an example of what they look like. This particular document is a release from liability. Again, it's just here as an example. However, it shows you how to or how the signature feature works simply by tapping on a signature box. The signature view appears, and the client can sign and save that signature. And then they can close the document and move on to the next unsigned document. The document that was just signed gets moved to the signed documents section. If the client tries to submit their client record before they are complete, the system will remind them that there's documents that need to be signed still. So that hopefully you will not get any client records that are incomplete. Again, when a client record is completed and the client submits it, because in the client portal there's a finish button in the upper right corner to submit, to press so that they submit their client record, and then an email will be generated and sent to you that lets you know that a new client created their record, and that you can log into Mobile Doula to view it and make sure that they signed all the documents. Typically, after a client submits their documents and their client record, you'll have an in-person meeting with them to discuss their birth preferences and their birth experience. And you would create a prenatal visit record. And the way to do that is to go to the prenatal section at the bottom, and then a new set of subtabs will appear on the left. And the top subtab is just prenatals again. The second subtab is transfer. If you transfer the client out of your care, you would fill this out so that the client record will move to the inactive tab. And then there's the messages tab, which allows you to send email messages to the client and communicate with them over email, but through the app. So if you send a message to the client through this feature, it will send them an email to the email that they entered when they created their client record. And they can respond to that email, and the message will come back into their chart, and it will also be emailed to your email address. You can reply by email, or you can reply in the app. Either way, the reply will get recorded under their client record. The message feature can also be used to send messages to other individuals in your practice, or maybe to the client's OB or their midwife. And so the message does not have to go to the client. The recipient list can be any group of people, but the entire message thread, whether people respond by email or through the app, will be recorded under the client record. Please view our message tutorial that's also under the features how-to section in order to get more in-depth information on how to use the message feature and all of its parallel features, such as scheduling messages to automatically go out at certain weeks gestation, how to add attachments, and more about the recipient list. For now, we will go back to the prenatals tab. Since this is the typical second step in the workflow process for a client record, the first step being the client creates their record. The second step here would now be you would add a prenatal visit. You could also add a contact visit record, which would just be a way for you to record a phone conversation or email or text message with the client. A care coordination visit would be where you are communicating with with their OB or their midwife regarding them, and you wanted to document that conversation. So we pressed Add Prenatal here, and here you can choose who the primary doula is. That will normally default to whoever is logged in. You can record the visit duration. You can record any symptoms that they're currently having that you may want to be aware of, so that when they go into labor, you'll know issues that you may need to help them with. And then you can begin to document the visit just by typing into the comments box. There's also a completed reminders feature, which we have another tutorial on, which allows you to document different items that you complete during the client record workflow process. For instance, in this case, in order to access the reminders and record them as completed, I'm going to press the reminders icon at the top of the screen, and I will mark which reminder items were completed during this visit. So in this case, we verified that the client intake was filled out. We have given them the document packet. We verified the consent forms were signed. We discussed childbirth education, a dietary analysis, shared a recommended reading list, copied their ID and insurance card. Now, if you take insurance, you can turn on the insurance features in Mobile Doula under settings. We will review that at the end of this video. We have a very robust insurance billing feature, and in different parts of the country, we know that doulas are beginning to bill insurance under various programs, and so this can be valuable to certain doulas. But in this case, we can just mark it as not applicable. We received their billing information, and the $200 fee was paid. So now those 9 reminders, which were just checked off, are recorded under this visit, where you can add additional notes and anything that may be applicable, like client needs to provide information on, let's say, health history. And then you can document the visit in the comment section and press save. And then that visit gets added to the flowchart here. You can press show details here in the flowchart to view all the information in a very compressed, concise format. Or you can open the visits by tapping on the visit date. And then you can continue to edit them, or you can sign them off to lock them down. That way they're not editable anymore, and they get color-coded in green. So at a glance, you can see which visits you have reviewed and have completed. So the next tabs are labor and delivery and postpartum. And labor and delivery, as it suggests, is where you would record different events that occur during labor, and anything that's important that you want to record information on, so that you can share and review it with your client later. And then postpartum, you can record any visits you have with the client after the baby's born. If you're a postpartum doula, then you can record additional information about the services you provide during postpartum. The tasks and billing section, as it suggests, is where you would record and create different tasks that you can assign to other individuals in your practice. You may create a task to follow up with the client. You may create a task to have an office manager call the client and obtain billing information, or any number of things. And these tasks can be assigned to anybody in the practice, and it works with Apple notifications, so they'll get notifications on their device. And you can view all the tasks for the entire practice under the tasks and billing section at the practice level, which we'll review at the end of the video. The billing section is where you can generate billing invoices. It's very robust. You can generate charges and apply different payments to those charges. You may have different charges, such as your basic doula fee, and then charges for them borrowing different materials or items to help them prepare for birth. And you can apply payments to those items individually and generate invoices and send them as a message or an email to the client. And you can, of course, keep track of all the outstanding balances at the practice level, which we'll review. And you can generate reports at the end of the year for all your income and client-related expenses. Mobile Doula is not designed to actually keep track of all your business expenses. It's only designed to keep track of client-related expenses and client receivables. The Insurance Claim tab allows you to create insurance claims, and you can print out CMS 1500 forms and mail them in, or you can create electronic insurance claims and electronically submit them to insurance companies. The Notes tab allows you to record just various notes on the client. You can cause a note to appear up in the client core information section, which you may have noticed already. That's on most of the screens. Simply by going into any of the notes and choosing to show it in core client, as I have just done here, and now that information is up here. The other info section is where we put everything else that didn't really fit anywhere else, including who the primary doula is on this client. There's a provide explicit access field so that you can provide explicit access to users that have reduced privileges. Though you can create users that only have privileges to view clients or edit clients that you explicitly give them access to. The 2-letter code feature allows you to create little codes that will appear on the client's profile picture, and it's just used to create a system for you to keep track of client records in your own way. And this is just something that we created based off user feedback, and particularly users who had come from paper charting, where they would use color-coded stickers with different initials in order to keep track of files in the file manager. And so this has been very helpful, although we have a more advanced feature, which we'll share with shortly, that does something similar called reminders and required reminders. The Activity tab allows you to keep track of all activity in your practice, such as who's logged in, who changed what fields, from what device, at what time, what the before and after values were. And it's a very robust feature, so there's never a mystery as to how a certain field got that way, how the data got there, or how it got changed. The Documents tab we already reviewed is a way that clients can sign documents or review documents. But you can also use it to add documents that the client does not see. You can even take pictures, since you are on your iPad, or if you are on your iPad or iPhone and not on a Mac, it's real easy to take pictures of other agreements that may be in paper form, or just pictures of anything that you want to keep record of under their record. So now we can press the home icon at the top here, the upper left corner, to drop back down to the practice level. And from this practice level, we can see this AA initial with the green background. That was the letter code we added. And so I briefly mentioned there is another way to keep track of client records through our reminder system. And so I'm going to go to the settings section by tapping on settings here on the bottom. Then I'm going to tap on reminders. And these are the reminders that we had already checked off for the client that we just demonstrated. These can be edited. You can edit the groups, you can edit the reminders, you can delete reminders, you can change their text, you can drag and drop them and move them around. But additionally, if you're not in edit mode and you tap on a reminder, you can mark a reminder as required and even say you want it to be due by a certain week's gestation. So in this case, I'm going to mark this client intake filled out reminder as required by 10 weeks gestation. And now if I go back to the client list, I will see a blue icon that says CL, which is the first 2 letters of the reminder, which was again client intake completed. And it will be on every client that's more than 10 weeks gestation, which happens to be all the clients in this list. And that particular reminder we'd already checked off under this test client where we are demonstrating the reminders feature. And so a green check mark appears there instead. And so you can make many reminders required. You may have just the basic sections required, like a reminder at the bottom of each section for each trimester to make sure that at each trimester stage you complete everything that needs to be done, whether that's the client intake being completed, or you reviewed their documents, or you got their last payment, and so on. That way you can be sure that nothing falls through the cracks. There's nothing worse than finding out they didn't sign your financial agreement and there's a falling out, and you have to refund money that you feel like you shouldn't have to. And you can avoid that by keeping track of the documents being signed using the reminders feature. So up at the top here, there's a calendar icon, which allows you to view every event that's on your calendar that's configured on your device. So if you go under the calendar app on your iPad, you can add calendars, like maybe your Gmail calendars or your Yahoo calendars, or for any of your email accounts or your iCloud calendar, whatever it may be. You may even have a more robust calendar that you signed up with an online booking calendar like Setmore or Appointment Plus. And Mobile Doula is not designed to be your calendar. It's only designed to allow you to view upcoming appointments and schedule appointments onto your calendar. And so by tapping on the calendar icon, you can do that. At the practice level, you cannot add an appointment because you need to open a client record so that when you add an appointment, Mobile Doula will insert the information as far as the client name, their estimated due date, and basic client details to be associated with that appointment. And so along the bottom here is settings, tasks and billing, documents, synchronize, and reports. We'll go to reports first. And under reports, we have an activity tab where we can view all the activity at the practice level. We have a reports sub-tab where we can generate a report for all of our clients, for all the visits, billing history, statistics, and any of these reports that get generated can be emailed as a spreadsheet to yourself, or you can open it directly into like a spreadsheet application like Numbers or Excel if you have Excel on your device. There's a statistics tab that will help you keep track of your statistics as a practice and possibly track success rates or impact that your services are having. There's a labs tab, which as a doula you will likely not use. The Synchronize section allows you to view the status of your device and its synchronizing. Mobile Doula is unique in that it's an app, and so it's not a web-based or cloud-based electronic health record system. It is an app-based, and so all the data is on your device, and the app works lightning fast regardless of whether you have an internet connection or not. And every 5 minutes in the background, your device will synchronize with the Mobile Doula secure cloud, and all the data that you have on your device or any changes will be propagated across all the other devices in your practice. The Synchronize feature is completely automatic and hands-off. However, if you want to force it to sync or view the status of syncing, you can come to the Synchronize tab and press sync in order to force it to sync, or view the message at the top to see if it has been syncing. And if it's not, always check your Wi-Fi connection. Maybe see if you can go to our website, make sure you have connectivity. The document section is where you can create new document templates. You can edit an existing document template. You can add text boxes, check boxes, and signature boxes. simply by double tapping anywhere and choosing which box you want to add. You can choose to make a text box auto-populate from part of the client chart. And again, this is covered under our document templates tutorial. But if you just need a quick refresher, you can always press the question button at the top of the document template screen, and it gives a quick reminder on how to create a document template, which basically just involves importing a PDF into Mobile Doula. The Practice Documents sub-tab is a place where you can consolidate all of your documents at a practice level, like your CPR certifications or doula certifications, practice policies, anything you want to centralize in one location so that everyone in your practice can access it. The Tasks and Billing section allows you to view all the tasks at the practice level, or all the billing invoices at the practice level. You can see outstanding tasks that are not completed and are past due or that are urgent. You can view billing invoices that are past due and any balances. There's also a lot of insurance claims features that are applicable to those who take insurance. Lastly, the Settings section. We've briefly reviewed the Reminders sub-tab in the Settings section, where you can edit the reminders. But most importantly, as a new user, you'll want to go to the Users sub-tab, and you can add as many users as you like. We very purposely did not make our pricing based on how many users you have, because we want to encourage people to add as many users as they need, because your user login is your electronic signature, and it is very important not to use a single login for multiple people. And so you can easily add as many users as you like on the screen and modify their role and their permission settings. And only admins can do this, but you'll be an admin with the account that you create through our sign up page on our website. So you'll be able to add as many users as you like. We have a text template feature, which is a way that you can insert text templates into any comments field. And so that interests some users, particularly users who like to have very formal textual notes under the client records, particularly those who have more of a medical background or who are seeking reimbursement from insurance. The message templates section allows you to create canned text messages that you want to send to clients. And these could be either text message templates that you send sort of as needed, or you can create message templates that go out on a schedule at certain weeks gestation that include certain handouts and attachments. So you can sort of have a drip campaign, a consistent message campaign to your clients in order to help them keep informed and become prepared for labor, what to expect, and help educate them. Lastly, the account tab, the account sub-tab here is where you will configure your practice to meet your needs. At the top is your practice details, which is what you've already entered into the sign-up page if you've already created a Mobile Doula account. The Email Client Access URL button allows you to generate an email to new clients as you get them, so that they can have access to your unique URL and create their own client record. You can email it to yourself and modify it, modify the verbiage, maybe add your logo and your own salutation, and save it off to a folder in your email, and then forward it to new clients as you get them. The question configuration is a very important part that you want to review on the onset of creating your practice. This allows you to hide the financial information section. So if you take insurance, you'll want to toggle this to no, so that you can capture their insurance information. The client will be able to snap pictures of their insurance card, choose the payer, enter their member ID, and all that will flow into the claim and the super bills you can generate. And so there's many other fields here that you can adjust in order to meet your needs. At the bottom of the screen, you can modify your billing information for Mobile Doula, change your credit card number or whatever, so that you can update that at any time. The chat sub-tab is a way you can configure the chat feature to meet your needs, so that you can set boundaries for when clients can send you text messages that will come to your iPhone and iPad or any of your Apple devices in generating Apple notifications. So you can define your nighttime hours, and so if they try to send you a message during your nighttime hours, which you might set to be from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m., that the client will have to indicate that it's an urgent message for it to actually notify you. And for more information on our chat feature, please view our chat video, which is also under the Mobile Doula website under Features and How To. Lastly, the world icon in the upper left corner allows you to choose some different languages that we have, because Mobile Doula is available in different parts of the world. And we are adding new languages all the time, and we actually have more languages than are in this list. So if that's something you're interested in, let us know. And thank you for viewing this tutorial video. If you have any questions, as always, give us a call or email us at doulasupport@mobiledoulaapp.com. Thank you for joining.